Hey y'all, I'm back. Y'all have been asking for this video. It is so hard for me to record this or try to record this. I look a mess. I actually just got up. So we're just gonna try. The angles aren't gonna be the best, but just bear with me as I get other equipment and things like that. My videos will be better. So anyways, this is just going to be how I make a closure wig, okay? And it's similar to how I make a frontal wig. It's just the frontal is of course ear to ear and the closure is just like this. Like, y'all understand what I mean. Anywho, now y'all know I like to do things very detailed. So I have this, I think it's called a wig block or whatever, and I got it off Amazon. Now before I had a wig block, you do not have to have this, okay? Before I had this, I just had a basic styrofoam head, and what I would do was I would put tape on it to fit it to my head shape, okay? When you get those styrofoam heads, do not just make the wig because your wig is gonna come out too small. You have to mold that to your exact head shape, okay? I know a lot of ladies are saying, you know, I try to make a wig but it's too small. You have to make sure it's your head shape. Even if you do use a stretchy cap, like an extra large stretchy cap, if you put that cap on a small head, on a small like styrofoam head or a head that's really small, even a smaller wig block head, it's not going to fit your head. I don't care how big of a wig cap you get, okay? So please keep that in mind. Now this head, I got the biggest head because of the simple fact I feel like it's better to make a wig a little bit bigger than a little bit smaller. And then plus my head is huge and I have a lot of hair, so this wig block works for me. I have the number 24, okay? So that's what I have. They have a lot of different sizes, shapes, and all kind of stuff like that, but I just got this, and like I said, it's been working for me. So another thing, I use these little fabric pins, okay? I tried to use the T-pins, but the T-pins don't work for this particular head. It works for the styrofoam head, and the reason is because it's like metal or something in here, and the T-pins don't go all the way through. So these work great, and you can get like a whole pack of them for like $2, okay? So that's great. So some of the things that I have is, of course, I have the hair right here. I have some little clippies, okay? You know, any kind of clips. You can use rubber bands, whatever, to hold like your hair, you know, down, like hold it out the way while you do it. So what I did was I want to make this a middle part. So I did put my closure in the middle, which with having a middle part, it is better. I mean, well, you know, it is better because it can be versatile. You can just move it up to the side whenever you want to, if you want to have a side part, or you can just move it over to the middle. Now, if you want to have like a deep side part, I would advise you to set your closure like all the way to the side like this, and then have all your hair going to one side. That's if you only want to wear it in a side part, okay? If you want to do like a nice swoop bang or a bob, okay? But if you do it like this is like a universal type look. Like I said, you can wear it in the middle or you can wear it on the side. Okay, so what I started off doing first was I did pin down my closure, and I always do this, and I pin it down just like that. So guys, when you pin down your closure, you want to make sure you're pulling that closure as you're pinning it down, okay? So when you pin it down, you want to pull it, and then like pull it all different kind of ways so it can lay flat, and then put it down, okay? That way you won't have any like lumps or anything. So as you can see, I pulled it pretty tight, and I put the closure down. I should have shown that part, but I didn't want this video to be too long. So anyways, yes, that's what I did. So as y'all can see, I pinned it all the way around. All right, so I do have my thread and needle, okay? And I use nylon thread. I mean, you know, just have regular thread and needle. So what I'm going to start off doing, and this is the age-old question, a lot of people get really confused about this. Well, a lot of people ask different questions. Now, people ask, do you sew on the elastic band? Okay, now everyone who makes wigs, they do different things, and I'm going to tell you now, everyone does it different. When I first started, I used to not sew on the elastic band, and the way that you do that is you pick up the cap, like, okay, I have the elastic band with me, okay? Now this is just the fabric, okay? That's not the elastic band. So you can kind of feel that elastic band that's in that cap, okay? Now I used to do that when I used to use my styrofoam heads, but now it doesn't really matter because my wig block is so big, and I also use an extra large cap to the point where it doesn't make a big difference if I grab that cap. If I grab this the elastic part, okay? It does not alter my stretch or anything, because when you start out with a big wig head, your wig is going to you're sewing, you allow your wig to still kind of fit. I don't know, it may not sound right. When you sew, you gather the cap even more. That's why you need to make sure you're using a decent sized wig head with a decent sized cap, because you're lessening the cap when you sew. I know it probably sounds a little crazy, but hopefully you all can decode what I'm really trying to say. So yeah, I don't have a problem with sewing on the elastic band. Now, if you use a small wig head, okay, you don't want to get the elastic band, okay, if you use a small wig head, because all you're going to do is stop the stretch, and your wig head is already small. So anywho, I'm just going to go ahead and start off, and like I said, I just do it like this. It's really hard to do this on camera because I'm in such an awkward position. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure you make your stitches really close, okay? You do not want to make your stitches far apart. And the reasoning behind that is because you don't want your closure to, like I said again, have like lumps or anything in it. So you want to just make sure you do your stitches like super close to each other when you're stitching. Okay, hey y'all. So I'm back and I'm done sewing on the closure, and I just want you all to see what I was talking about sewing really close together. Okay, this is gonna help your closure to lay flat. You want to sew as close together as possible. All right, so you won't have any lumps or anything. So that's what we're looking like. Okay, that's the back, as y'all can see. I'm just gonna bring it over to the side. And there we go. Okay, nice, perfect sewn on closure. It's not going anywhere. So we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to do a couple tracks, and I'm not going to do too many, just a couple tracks, and then I'll be back with the finished product. Okay, this hair is still a little damp. Okay, y'all. So please bear with me. It's drying really slow. So we're going to start. Okay. So what I like to do is I do start my track like way down here, and like I was telling you all, you know, I do sew on my elastic band. So I'm going to go ahead and I like to pin my track down. It just gives me really good direction, and it keeps things nice and neat. If you don't want to pin it down, you don't have to. You could just hold it or something. I just find it a lot easier this way. That way you could just sew in a straight line. So yeah. And I do also do the flip over method. So yeah, that's what that looks like. All right, and I'm going to start sewing. Yeah, I'm probably not really gonna be able to see this angle. It's terrible. Okay, so I'm just gonna start. And basically, if you've ever sewn like in some hair or something in somebody's head, like a regular sew in, this is gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy, okay? This is not gonna be anything difficult. And you can also cut the little piece off if you want to. That's just the piece that I tied together to knot it. You don't have to keep that piece on, but you don't want to cut it too short, okay? Because you don't want it to unravel or anything. So yeah. Now what I do is I like to go through the track a couple times because of the fact it just makes the wig so much more secure. It makes it last a lot longer when you go through the track. I like to go through the track and like twist it, and that kind of knots it, and then pull it through like that. When I tell you it makes it last, it does. And at the beginning of the tracks, I like to go over more than one time so it can be really, really strong at the beginning of the tracks. Okay, and it won't be going anywhere. Also, I forgot to do, I normally will hold my cap down like that. So the cap won't move as much. I hold it down. Like, I'll normally put these all around the unit, okay? So, yeah, this is so hard to do, okay? So, I know y'all can barely see. I'm kind of like out of focus. I'm trying. And like I said, only a few, like I go through the track like every so often. I will. And when I don't go through the track, I just make sure I do the stitches really close. Like you don't want your stitches far. I've seen some YouTubers where they'll do a stitch here, then they'll do a stitch here to like speed up the process. Guys, don't do that. That's just going to make the wig like really, really bumpy, like super bumpy. You're gonna have to take the whole thing down and start over. So don't do that. Making a wig is tedious, but they do last forever. Like when you sew them, I have wigs that have been in there for like 2 and 3 years or whatever. I've never had to remake it or anything. Just take your time, okay? Yeah, you could just make a glue gun unit and be done in like 30 minutes, but glue gun units do not last. So this is just what I'm doing. They don't last very long, so keep that in mind. Hey y'all, I have reached the top. I just felt like me recording all that would be redundant because all I'm doing is literally going left to right, left to right. Like that's all I'm doing, and that's what I've been doing, and this is what it's looking like, and I'm almost to the top. I'm almost done. All right. Okay, hey y'all, I am back. Hopefully I can get in the camera, but anywho, I'm back. I have finished the wig, as you all can see. Okay, so I'm going to show you all the top. And I'm going to show you how I really closed it up around this area. Okay, if y'all can see, I really closed it up around that closure area. You're not supposed to be able to see all that, okay? Everything just blends seamlessly. So that's exactly how you want to do that at the top, because I know I'll probably get some questions about that. Oh, let me not take that off yet. So I'm going to take this off the head, okay? Don't pay no attention to that. My head is, it looks crazy. So this is what the inside of the wig looks like, okay? Very nice and neat stitching. This is the wig. It's very full. So what we're going to do is Oh, I forgot to show y'all a picture of the wig caps that I use. I'll get those in a second. So you wanna, I like to hold mine like this. Okay, and that part, you're gonna cut that off. Be very, very careful, don't cut too close. Okay. Like I said, don't cut too close. I like to leave a little bit of fabric. Okay. Sorry, I know y'all can like barely see. Okay, okay. Now, this is what you should be left with, okay? And that's pretty much it. Now, give me a second. I'm going to go get a picture, get the wig cap that I used, okay? Hey, y'all, know this is gonna be asked, what cap do I use? I use this cap. I don't always use this cap. I don't have a picture of any of the other caps, but I used this one this time and it works great. And as you can see, it's $1.99 at a local beauty supply store. So, yeah.